and she gives him a great kiss, and he's all like, oh, and then she stabs him in the head with both hands.
I was going to say, not just once. This is twice.
With both hands. She just chunk right into the top of either side of his head.
The podcast you are about to listen to is an account of the movies which befell a group of horror fans. In particular, Tara Garwood and her intrepid friend, Matt Lolich. Had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, although they would have wished, to see as much of the mad and macabre as we're to see in those movies. For them, an idyllic summer movie became a nightmare, and they loved it. The movies that they watched were to lead to the creation of one of the most terrifying podcasts in the annals of American history. The Scary Movie Project.
Hey peeps, this is the Scary Movie Project, the podcast where we talk about scary movies and offer you your first shot in an attempt to drug you and our spoilery spoilers. I'm Tara.
What up? I'm the M-A-T-T. And,
You are.
yeah. Did you all know that, I mean, maybe you did, but dream girls can be a nightmare? When Cole stays up past his bedtime, he discovers that his hot babysitter belongs to a satanic cult that will stop at nothing to keep him quiet in 2017's The Babysitter. I watched this on Netflix. Is this a Netflix-produced film, by the way, or is this, I don't even know.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think it was originally intended for theatrical release and then ended up getting put out to DVD and streaming instead.
Okay.
But this was,
by...
I want to say before we get into it, this was requested by our listener, Sarah S.
Yes. All right.
So we have her to thank for us doing this.
Thank you.
Even though I would have probably made us do it at some point anyways.
Okay. Well, directed by Mick G. This dude,
Mick G.
What is his name? That's just his, nickname for, what has he done? He's been known to do...
He's
Terminator?
done...
He did one of the Terminator movies, I think.
He's done some Supernatural episodes.
Okay. He's got a good resume,
he
I believe.
Did... yeah, he's done several different TV shows. I think he did Nikita, that TV show.
Okay.
So he's done a lot of TV and a few movies too.
Okay.
But yeah, Mick G. That's what he goes by.
Mick G.
This was written by Brian Duffield.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm saying that right. And the screenplay was actually featured in the 2014 Blacklist, which, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is a list of like the best unproduced screenplays that year. I don't know exactly who puts it out, but it's like a big Hollywood thing. And
so here are
a lot of films get picked up off the Blacklist.
So he is, okay, so I looked him up quickly. I know he done some stuff. This is pretty interesting. He's done a couple, he directed some Cypress Hill videos.
Oh, Mick G.
He directed a couple Korn videos.
He
did some videos for Smash Mouth, Everclear, Sugar Ray, and he did direct Terminator Salvation. So he's done some really cool music video stuff in some movies. So he's done Korn, Blind, Cypress Hill, Throw Your Set in the, if you guys know the music I'm talking about, I hope you do. He did the Fastball song, The Way, Can't Get Enough of You Baby, Smash Mouth.
Okay.
What I say also? He's in here. Cypress Hill, Still Smoking. Okay. Offspring, a couple of music. Okay, I'm not gonna go on and on, but yeah, that's awesome. He's done some really cool stuff.
He's done a lot.
Okay, cool.
And I think you're right. I think he did get his start in music videos,
and that's
then
what it is. A
came
lot
up
of these
into
folks do,
TV and film.
And it's a great way to do it. It really is. Yep.
So, shall we dive in?
Yes, please. Yes.
We open on a young boy screaming. He's in the school nurse's office and he's about to get a shot. And
come on, man, just take the shot, man. What's the problem?
Yeah, the school nurse is fantastic. It's like his one scene, but he's a great cameo.
It's really good.
And then we see the young boy in the gym, and a jock comes in and just yells, "Pussy!" and just walks away.
That was pretty great.
So there you go. That is our introduction to Cole.
Cole,
a 12-year-old boy.
What up, C?
he's talking to his friend Melanie outside school, and her dad picks her up in this fancy sports car.
So the dad is amazing. So
the dad is fantastic.
I'm a car guy, and I feel terrible because I should know. I think it's an old Chevelle or a Camaro. I can't remember what he's driving, but that is hilarious. That dad is so hilarious. Oh my God. Does your mom want you taking the bus?
A few moments too.
Does your mom want you taking the bus? Well, yeah, you probably go take the bus then. All right, so
yeah. So Melanie offers Cole a ride home, and that's what the dad says. Oh, doesn't your dad expect you to take the bus? And he's like, well, yeah. It's like, you should take the bus then. Woo! And it turns out that they live literally right across the street from each other.
Well, that's because Melanie's got a little crush on Cole. So
that's a.
And then he just kind of does the burnout, and he spins the tires, and they take off.
And they take off, and they're like, out there.
Dad is great.
So Cole walks home, and on his way home, he gets hassled by some bullies. And B shows up, played by Samara Weaving.
Yeah, B.
She is a hot older girl. She gets there and she stands up for Cole with the bullies.
Do we find out actually how old she is? She in high school still, or is she like in
I
the
don't
20s?
know. I don't know if she's a senior or if she's like early college.
Yeah,
they don't really say.
Yeah, they never said that.
They don't really say what it is.
Whatever.
But she's somewhere around 18 to 20.
I was gonna say 18 is a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So she stands up for him with the bullies, and then she tells him, "You got to punch him in the dick," which I love.
Kick him in the dick.
She's like, "You got to punch him in the dick." And she drives him the rest of the way home, and he clearly has a crush on her.
Oh yeah.
Big crush. So we get home and we meet Cole's mom, played by Leslie Bibb.
What 12-year-old boy doesn't have a crush on some 17-year-old girl? I mean, come on.
Right, who's his babysitter. We find out she's his babysitter. So
what's her face? You said plays the mom, right? Yeah, she's
Leslie Bibb. She is in one of my favorite horror comedy movies, Hell Baby.
Oh, I've never seen it, but I know she's in a bunch
I
of
will
stuff,
make us
too.
review that at some point. My husband and I watch it every year on Christmas Eve.
All right,
it's our Christmas Eve movie.
I love everyone that has an interesting Christmas Eve movie. She is in some other stuff. I feel like a jerk for not being able to name it right now, but I've seen her in a good amount of other. She's done a lot of work.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff. She's a comedic actress, and she's fantastic.
She's good.
So she's in the crawl space. There's a ton of spiders. The spiders in the basement, by the way, are Mexican red knee spiders.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't need
That's
to know.
the same species of tarantula that was used in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
How could you live in your house if you knew that was living under your house?
I couldn't.
I mean,
I can barely deal with the little half-inch size spiders that we get in our house occasionally.
I don't really have a problem. I've heard bad stories. I'm not terribly afraid of them really at all. But if I knew those things were living under my house, I'm sorry.
Look, no. I feel like things are crawling all over me just talking about them.
All right, so let's move on.
I do not do good with spiders.
Let's move on.
So she has a little heart-to-heart with Cole. They have a little sweet talk about him.
And she gets out and she's like just covered in spider webs.
Well, they have that moment where he's asking her about if he's a pussy, and she's like, "Do you know what that word means, son?"
Right,
and he goes, "Well, yeah, it's like someone who's scared of everything or whatever." And then as he walks away, he says, "I'm not a dummy, Mom. I know that it means vagina." And she's like, "Okay." And then he walks away, and she's like, he said the word pussy.
Right. Oh man, that was a great line. That was a great scene.
That was a fantastic scene. And then he goes and he practices driving with his dad, played by Ken Marino, who is another comedic actor. He's in another one of my favorite TV shows, Veronica Mars.
Okay, I am not familiar. I don't know that I've ever seen him, but okay.
Oh, yeah. He's great. He's fantastic too. So he practices driving with his dad, but he's too afraid to actually drive. Cole is too afraid to actually drive, though. So his dad just does donuts instead.
Now, can I please find out where that is? Where I want to live somewhere where there's a giant track where you can just go drive your regular car on and do donuts.
My husband said the exact same thing. He was like, wouldn't it be cool to have a place like that to learn to drive and do donuts?
I'd be going 40 miles an hour, throw it in neutral, hit the emergency brake, and just spin and just do drifting for hours. But anyway.
My dad made me do donuts in a school parking lot when I was learning to drive.
That's awesome.
In the winter. In the winter on ice, he made me do donuts.
What kind of car did he make you do it in?
What did he have then?
I applaud your father for doing this.
I can't remember. I can't.
Well,
It was a sedan of some sort.
Listeners out there, teach your kids to drive. Teach them how to do donuts.
Yeah, he made me do
It's our
donuts,
advice.
and then he made me turn out of them, like so, like basically like doing the like skidding out and like
Well, you're
fixing
learning how to
it.
drive. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, he made me do all that stuff.
That's awesome. Well done.
So that night, the dad, I love it. The dad and mom are like laying in bed, and the dad's binge watching Mad Men.
Yes, Mad Men.
And he tells Cole, "You can watch it when you're a little older.
Right.
It's a little dense for you, buddy."
Yes. Yes.
Just another one of those little moments I love. And in the morning, Cole is messing with this like big kitchen knife that he's got stuck into his RC car, like trying to fix something in it. And his dad takes the knife and he puts it in the dishwasher. So remember that for later. His dad puts the knife in the dishwasher.
Don't put knives like that in a dishwasher either. You'll
Well,
ruin
we'll
it.
get there.
Oh, I'm just saying, just when I'm watching it, like a nice cutlery set like that, you don't put that stuff in a dishwasher.
You're already like, no, I know,
Yes,
I know.
You hand wash these things.
Yes, yes. And you don't even like want to wipe them with a like paper
No.
towel because that'll scratch them. Yeah.
Very careful with that.
So you have to be very good to your
So
knife
we've
sets.
already given you advice on how to drive and how to use kitchen knives.
Yes,
So.
yes. This is life
attention.
pro tips, guys. Like just like on Reddit, life pro tips.
Mm-hmm.
So Cole's parents are going away for the weekend, and B is coming over to stay to babysit. And they show this like montage of them having fun. So they're having a dance party. They're playing in the pool. They're talking about all sorts of geeky stuff while she makes dinner. I love this. He asked her what her intergalactic dream team
Okay.
is.
So that was a pretty cool scene. Okay. So can you remember what she said they were?
Of course, Kirk,
Okay.
Picard,
Okay. Star Trek folks, right? Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith from Independence
yes,
Day,
love that.
Ripley,
Yeah, love that, of course.
and for the win,
yes.
a xenomorph egg.
Yes, I know. Her list is written, so I don't really know much about Star Trek, but I know who those guys are. But the rest of that
I mean, they're the two
group-
captains.
Yeah, right, of course. So
The
I think that's
captain
fine.
from the original series and the captain from the Next Generation.
I am so down with Ripley and the alien, and of course, Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith from,
well,
Independence Day. Who doesn't love that movie?
and I love that it's not an alien; it's a xenomorph egg because he tells her that if you got two like antagonistic characters, then they would just fight each other and ruin it. So she gets the egg so that it doesn't like fight
Right.
Ripley.
Well, obviously,
Until
we know what happens
she's
with
ready
the
to deal
egg.
with it. She eats
so-
the egg. She takes the egg and makes it infect her so that she can be tough or something like that.
Right.
She had like some whole thing that was going down.
It's great.
And then they watch a movie on the back of the house outside and act it out, which is awesome. I would have loved to do that with my
Oh.
babysitters.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they're like, and he does the line, what is it? I'm gonna take this foot and I'm gonna kick you right there in the side of your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they like play fight. It's really cool. It's fun.
They have a great time.
And then B is teasing Cole about liking Melody, and then she decides it's time for him to go to bed because she's tired. So she tells him she'll give him a shot to
That's how it
sweeten the
works.
deal. Right? She says, "Do you want a shot? I'll give you a shot." You know, like make him sleepy. Make you sleep good.
Sure.
But when she steps out, she gives him one, and then when she steps out to get one for herself, because he says, "Well, we should, toast, do them together," he dumps his in a plant and pretends like he already drank it.
Right.
So because Cole and Melanie have made a plan that he's going to stay up to see what B does after he goes to bed, because Melanie is convinced that she has boys over and they all have orgies.
That's right. That's what babysitters do.
So he talks to Melanie on the phone about it, and then later that night, he's like staying awake and he hears the doorbell ring, and he goes down to see what happens. So now we have Max, Allison, John, Sonia, Samuel, and B, and they're
Okay.
playing Spin the Bottle,
Sure
sort
are.
of a Spin the Bottle / Truth or Dare
Yeah.
mix
Yes,
up,
it works
mash
good.
up
That's
there.
right, that's right.
So I'll tell you this, in the original script, Sonia was not the dark one. She was the cheerleader.
Okay.
And Allison, who's the cheerleader in the movie, was a journalist for the school paper.
Okay.
John was called John the Baptist.
Okay.
And Max had dreadlocks.
Okay.
So the characters were later they changed them up to be closer to stereotypes of victims in slasher movies.
Okay.
But of course, they're not the victims. They're the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
We will find that out momentarily, guys.
Yes.
But spoiler alert, they're the bad guys.
Right.
So that was different from the original script. And then while they're playing Spin the Bottle, Truth or Dare, B gets dared to kiss everyone.
Right.
So she does a little show for each one.
That was hilarious. That
Yeah,
one guy,
she screws with the guys, and then she
one
makes
guy
out
is
with
hilarious.
she
He's
makes
so
out with
funny.
Allison.
Yes.
And then she gets to Samuel, which is the dorky guy who they've invited, who's not really friends with them. And he kind of freaks out. And she has to like talk him down. Like, it's okay. It's just you and me. Like, pretend they're not even here. And she's really sweet about it. And she gives him a great kiss. And he's all like, oh. And then she stabs him in the head with both hands.
To say not just once. This is twice.
With both hands. She just chunk right into the top of either side of his head. And she tells him, I love this line. She says, you're helping fulfill a great purpose. Know this. And he says, I don't want to fulfill a great purpose.
Nope, sure don't.
And then they all get out goblets and they like let the blood pour from his head into the goblets.
Pretty violent. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And so they're making deals with the devil to get what they want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
So B has this old, huge book of the devil's verses. What does she say? She says, you know, God has a Bible.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember it though. I can't remember.
Buddha
exactly what
has
she
something
says.
else, and the devil has verses.
Yes.
So one of them says, all right, let's get started. And they're going to head upstairs. Let's get started, then head upstairs and get the blood of the innocent.
Yep. Right.
So Cole hears this because he's on the stairs.
He's like watching
jumps
through the bars on the
He jumps up, he calls 911 real quick, and then he prepares himself by grabbing a pocket knife and sticking it in his pocket.
Right.
And he gets back in bed as he hears them coming. And you hear B say, do you have the needle? And
Right.
well, of course, we know he's scared of needles from the first scene when he had to get his shot.
It's not gonna go well.
So they stick it in his arm and they draw some blood, and he's like, they're like trying so hard to pretend he's still asleep. They missed the vein on the first try.
Yes, I don't know how he would have been able to fake this for that long, dude. That was impressive. Ooh,
But
man.
he manages it. He pretends to sleep through the whole thing.
He does.
And as soon as they leave, he pops out of bed and starts tying bedclothes together to go out the window.
I love it. Yeah, the old-fashioned sneak out way.
But B shows up behind him
She's hiding in their room. Yeah.
and he passes out.
Yeah. Yep.
So he comes to with all the teenagers staring at him. And the first thing he can think of to say, Max has taken his shirt off and he's just in his pants. And so he says, why is he shirtless?
Right.
And they're like, wait, really? That's your first question here? So they force feed him a cookie because B says he's got low blood sugar.
All right.
That's why he passed out or whatever. B interrogates him, and he tries to cut through the ropes around his wrist with his pocket knife, but they can see him in the mirror behind him.
Said, when that one day out shows, I don't understand what's going on here because we can see you cutting through the because the mirror's right there.
We can see you, and he keeps her, and she's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, he's still doing it.
so
It's
cute.
so
He's
cute.
still trying to cut
Look
through
how
the
he
rope."
keeps
Right.
trying."
Oh my god.
So he bluffs well enough that they believe him that he didn't figure anything out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're about to untie him, but then the cops pull up outside, sirens blaring.
You'd almost forgotten about the police at this point. You're like, oh, right, he called the police. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So they pull up, they charge in, and Max throws a poker in one cop's eye.
Fireplace poker goes right through dude's head.
Yeah, right through.
Man.
And then the other cop shoots Allison, and all hell breaks loose, and everybody's fighting.
Shot me in my boob, right?
Yeah, you shot me in my boob. Now my boob's all deflated. Right. Nobody's gonna want to suck on my titties.
That's great.
So yeah, the two cops get killed. And Allison comes too, and yeah, she says, "Oh my God, he shot me in the boob. What kind of guy shoots a girl in the boob?"
Let's not forget how the cop that had the poker in his head, how they actually finally finished him off. Do you remember that?
Oh, wait, how did they?
Oh, man. So what's-his-face takes the poker in his head and twists it and basically just rips his head apart.
Right.
Oh, it was so gross, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was real. Yeah. The whole, that whole
so
scene
nasty.
of chaos is pretty great.
Oh, man, so gross. And then that one dude who comes to the party, he's hilarious when he says the line when I guess they shoot the cop or something and his head explodes and the blood just goes all over him. And he goes, God, this is the second person to get blood. I got AIDS now.
Yeah, I got AIDS now. I think that's John says that. I got AIDS now.
Oh, my God. That was hilarious.
So Cole gets free and he runs upstairs and John goes after him but slips on his RC car and falls to his death, being impaled through the neck by some sort of award.
He lands on a glass award and it goes right through his neck. That was... I mean, so far, the violence and the gags are pretty top notch in this movie. I will say that.
The kills in this are great.
Yeah, they were really good.
So Cole gets out the window, and Max is like trying to pull him back in on the bed sheets, but he falls, so he gets out. And
that looked like it hurt when he fell. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Even
so
for
Max,
a 12-year-old, that hurts.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they do bounce back quickly, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it looked painful.
But he gets free. He chases into the guys.
Words.
Max chases Cole into the garage, but Cole hides and Max runs out the other way, and that's when Cole finds Samuel's body in there.
Right, the dead body.
Then he finds his fat dragon firecracker rocket.
I love me some. I am a fireworks junkie, so if I had found that thing, oh man, I would have had so much fun with that.
Huge. It's
pretty
like
awesome.
It's like the size of a grown man's forearm.
Yes, and I want
it's really big.
And I want to shoot that thing off, but obviously that won't happen.
I'm Jennifer James.
I'm Jill Stanley.
We're psychics.
We're sisters.
We are the hosts of the Common Mystics podcast.
If you enjoy creepy stories,
road trips,
haunted locations,
history,
and mysteries,
then the Common Mystics podcast is for you. Check out our website at commonmystics.net. Find us on Apple Podcasts
or wherever you're listening to your favorite pods.
So Cole goes to hide in the crawl space with all the spiders, and he hides under a blanket.
Better than getting killed.
And Sonia is like walking around outside, and she sees the crawl space, and she goes in to look for him.
Here you are. Are you in here or something like that?
Are you here?
Right.
Are you here? Are you here? Well, she almost finds him under the blanket, but she gets distracted by a spider.
Yes.
Because she likes it, the spider. And she's like, I think she even tries to pet it with her finger.
I think she might.
And then Max calls her, and she crawls out, and she gets almost all the way out. But Cole sets the rocket off. It misses.
Yeah.
But then
But it lands, and it's still igniting. It's still the fuse.
It's still igniting, yeah. And
fuse
so
is still going.
I think he snaps a trap on her hand.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then
she lands on two traps.
Yeah, she lands on traps, and he crawls past her to get out. And then he traps her in there with the cover that goes over the crawl space.
The grate back up, yeah.
Yeah, the grate. And so the rocket goes off fully and it just blows her up.
And it blasts him 30 feet back. It was great. Oh my God, that was a great scene.
It was insane. And
I loved then later when the guy asked what happened to her, he's just like, what did he say? Blasted, incinerated.
he lays on the grass there, and Max just walks up and he's just slow clapping. And then he's like, What did you do to her? Blasted, incinerated.
He's just so nonchalant. I blew her up. I blasted her.
Yeah. So Max chases Cole, and while he's chasing Cole, actually, Max does the chant. He chants the horror music from the movie Friday the 13th.
I don't remember that. Okay.
He does the
Does he? That would make sense.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see it. Okay.
So he catches up to Cole, and Cole does a move B taught him. He drops down.
Yep.
And then he kicks.
Drop like a bag of rocks, and then
kicks Max in the dick.
Fall over you. And he tells him, "You miss my dick."
Yeah, you missed my dick. And that's not even possible. So then they hear splats coming from around the side of the house.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out the main bully from the beginning of the movie. Yeah. He's egging Cole's house.
He's just standing there egging his house. Yep.
So Max makes Cole go stand up for himself, and
Doesn't go
Cole
well.
does the thing where he says I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to
Yep.
put it in your face right there, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And the bully's just kind of like, okay. And he tries to kick the bully, and he totally like just thumps
It's
him
just
in
the
the belly a
most
little bit. Like he
pathetic,
barely
like-
misses him.
Attempt, like, yeah, it's pretty comical.
Oh yeah, and the bully punches him real hard, and then
clocks him. Yeah.
Max is trying to tell the bully what's going on, and the bully gets the thing. He's like, "No, I'll help you. I'll help you." He's like, "I mean, come on, who else am I gonna
Right.
torture or whatever?" And he's like, Cole's like, "Oh yeah," and then he's like, "Nah, screw that. Like, I'm not helping you," and he just
Nope.
gets out of there.
Out.
So Max comes back out and he congratulates Cole on standing up for himself, but he's still gonna kill him. And I love this line. Cole is trying to convince him he doesn't have to, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not like the others. I came here to kill people."
Right. Yeah. It's pretty much what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's like, basically, that's the whole reason I'm here. I don't care about making a deal with the devil. I'm just here to
Yep.
kill people.
I'm just here to kill some people.
So Cole climbs up into his treehouse, and Max circles it, and then he climbs a rope up there, and he almost kills Cole, but the treehouse floor breaks, and Max ends up like falling through and getting hung by the rope.
Remember they mentioned the part where, because he had eggs all over him, and so his hands got all eggy, I guess was the
His
word.
hands are slippery.
And he wasn't really able to hold on. Maybe he could have grabbed that rope instead of getting hung by it and breaking his neck or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think they were trying to insinuate that, I think.
That his hands are all slippery, so he couldn't
Yeah.
like fix himself. Yeah.
Right.
So then B comes out of the house with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
And Cole runs into Melanie's house across the street, like we said, and he tells her what happened. And they hide around the corner as
And they
B
think-
comes to the door, like
and they-
inside around the corner.
They thought, the house with the locks were going to auto lock them. And nope, she just busts right in the door.
Yeah, she just busts right in the door. She stalks them through the house, and they just keep moving around corners ahead of her.
Exactly.
And then they end up hiding in the bathroom. And he tells Melanie to call the cops and he'll take care of this. And she kisses him.
Yes.
And it's like the cutest scene.
Well, I love...
Because he's all like flustered and like he's happy, but he's flustered. And then like he gets on the other side of the door and she's like, what does she say? She says something like,
so okay, that's my favorite part. Is
okay.
He says, "Wow, I really like that we kissed," and she goes, "Yeah, next time let's make out."
Next time let's make out. And he's like, okay.
Like a 12-year-old boy, I can attest to, that is such a line or something that would just totally have happened.
Next time
and-
let's make out.
Hilarious. I love it.
So Cole goes back home, but he doesn't
make
see B anywhere. He does find a very dead-looking Allison, though, and the
yes.
Devil's Book. So he gets the Devil's Book, he gets into the kitchen, and then Allison comes up behind him, grabs him, and she tries to kill him, but he punches her boob,
Sure does.
and she whines about it
Yeah, again.
and Cole remembers the knife in the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to find it, but it's not there. And we see a little shot of his mom and dad in the hotel that they're staying in. And
What is the
the
mom
mom
doing?
being like, why did you put... Yeah, she's jerking the dad off under the covers while she
shot-
reads a book.
That shot is so great. It's from the head of the bottom of the bed facing the two of them.
Yeah.
And he's just watching TV. Is he watching TV or is he reading a book?
She's
doesn't
reading
matter.
a book.
And she's just sitting there jerking him off. It is
He's
hilarious.
enjoying getting jerked off.
Oh,
She
it
is
is
reading a book
hilarious.
while she does it.
Oh my god!
And then she
starts-
tells him like, "Hey, you
Yes.
left the knife. You put the knife in the dishwasher. It doesn't go there. I put it back in the butcher block." And so you see Allison get the knife out of the butcher block,
Sure
and
does.
Cole grabs a big old like lighter, like
the
the long kind,
the tall fireplace
Yeah.
lighter. What are they
the
called?
long kind
Fireplace
of lighter.
I guess.
And so he's like trying to like ward her off with it, and then she gets shot in the head from behind.
Okay, she just
it's B.
blows her head off. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
B just
And she was
blows
like, "Damn,
her
I
head
didn't,
off.
I didn't think." She's like, "I didn't think it was gonna do that," or something like that.
She says that she was never going to kill Cole, but he grabs the book and threatens to burn it.
He sure does.
But B tells Cole, she didn't use him. She
Whatever.
chose him.
Liar.
And then he says, "I'm not the first kid, am I?" And she says, "No." And she tells Cole that they can say the others attacked the two of them and it'll be you and me against the world. But Cole lights the book on fire and then he throws it past B and she goes after the book. So he runs out to Melanie's dad's car, starts the car, drives for the first time,
what he's doing,
and crashes it into his house in the room where B is.
Goes like flying off, like, because he hits something else and it basically creates a ramp. And he just goes
flying into the house.
Love it.
So he crawls out of the car and B is trapped like half underneath it. And she asks him what his intergalactic dream team is. She says he never, he didn't tell her because she forgot to ask.
That's right.
And he tells her he would pick Admiral Adama, that's from Battlestar Galactica. He's, as you can hear, the Admiral. Data from Next Generation.
Okay.
Star Trek. Predator.
Ooh.
And then his last two are and me and you. And she's all sad. And he says goodbye to her and then climbs out over the car.
Yep.
And Melanie sits on the street with Cole while the cops and the firefighters do their work. And the bullies show up to see what happened. And the two goon bullies think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And the main bully is like,
whatever, man. Yeah.
Whatever, man. So Cole's parents get there and they say, what happened? And he says, I don't need a babysitter anymore.
Nope.
And I learned after this that I don't know if you kept watching through the credits. There is a scene where B comes back and I totally missed it.
No, I think I turned it off too.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but so know that, guys.
And
don't do what we did. Don't turn it off. Keep watching. There is a scene.
I'm like one of the losers that usually is like the guy like hangs out in the theater too sometimes to like watch the credits, and I totally just did not do it this time. Yeah,
there is a B comes back moment.
So it cost us. How about that?
Yeah.
Live and learn.
So I love this movie. This is the third time I've seen it. Somehow every time I haven't managed to see the last.
I know.
After the credits.
Seen this. I know, right? God.
Somehow I kept not knowing that it was there and not watching the credits. But yeah, I love this movie. I think it's hilarious. I definitely recommend watching it. There is a sequel.
I saw
that is called The Babysitter Killer Queen. It's not as good.
I didn't think so.
It's fun. It's fine, but it's not as good as this movie.
Okay, I wouldn't think so. But
so what did you think, Matt?
So I found it entertaining in some parts. I don't love it. I don't think it'll be a movie I'll watch.
Which is funny because just us talking about it, you laughed a lot.
I did. So there were definitely some scenes that I had forgotten about, like the jerking off parent scene, and some of the stuff I'd forgotten until we got into it. That did make it was funny, but I feel like sometimes it just kind of was going nowhere. I don't know, like there was a satanic cult, but they didn't really explain a whole lot. Is it really trying to be funny and scary? Because it really wasn't scary.
To me, I thought it was just trying to be funny, and that it was a send-up of all those 80s movies.
Yeah.
Where they sort of flipped the script and made the little teenage group the bad guys.
And I feel like they got 75% of the way there, and they just couldn't finish the deal sometimes.
Okay, I can see that it didn't quite get there for you.
I found it funny. I like this sweet, Cole and the little girl across the street that he likes. I love that part of it. B to me she was whatever. There was nothing outstanding with her. I don't think she was just blonde hot girl that you put in there for to play the part. I didn't think that was great.
Right.
I honestly didn't care for the kids that at the house. I thought they were all kind of crappy. I liked the one guy that talked about I got the blood on me. I got AIDS. I mean that was
you
funny.
Like John.
He was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. It had some gimmicks to it that were funny, and the gags, the violence, the kills were outstanding. Love the violence.
Yeah. It was so well done.
Give it a watch. It wasn't bad. I didn't love it. I found it somewhat entertaining though. It was definitely had some laughs to it though. Yeah.
I got to admit, I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't love it because I really love it.
I didn't hate it though either. So.
I love it so much.
No, it was a good pick. No, it was a good pick. I mean, I'm glad I got to watch it. There was definitely some stuff that, every movie you see, you're going to learn something, you're going to get something from, and you're going to get a gag out of it.
Yeah, but it's a pretty straightforward movie. Like, it's a very simple setup.
Yeah,
it's very just like,
maybe
here's what happens.
More. Right, maybe I wanted more from it or something.
And it is not It is not The Shining, okay? It's not.
No, nor would I.
It's not a
think it is.
But I mean, it's not like.
It's just have fun. Look, let's
It's
just have
not
some.
atmospheric so much. It's
Let's
not
have some gags and let's just have fun.
Oh, there's a mystery here. There's none of
Right.
that. It's just
Right.
straight off like, let's just have some fun and do this.
Yeah, no, and I'm totally
Like-
cool with that. And that was, it's just let's goof around. Let's have some, murder gags and, whatever. It's all good. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
so did you have a crush in junior high school?
oh, I mean, of course.
I mean, a
That's
big
why-
one. Like, who's your big crush?
That's like, I mean, that's what I think I liked about the story. Because it was this kid with the girl across the street. I thought that was so cool. Like,
So who was it? Who was yours? Do you remember?
I mean, I'm not going to name names. We have people listening. I don't want to,
Ooh.
call anybody out here.
Ooh.
I can say, I
He
can say
still
yes.
knows her, folks, and he still has a crush. That's what I'm hearing.
That's pretty good. I mean, the answer is yes. I mean, what 12, 13-year-old boy doesn't have that? I mean, come on, right?
I didn't
That's
have
what I think.
I didn't have the whole babysitter crush experience because my babysitters were all girls.
Oh, so you're asking?
so I
Wait, hold
didn't
on.
have-
Are you asking me a babysitter crush or just a crush on some girl that lived? Now I'm confused.
Either way.
Oh no, never had a babysitter crush. Never had that.
Okay.
No.
I didn't have
Okay, I'm
babysitter
sorry.
crush because there
I
was no
wasn't sure.
babysitters that I
wasn't
had a
sure
crush on.
what you were asking me. Okay.
But I did have a boy who was an actor who lived pretty far away from me. He lived down in Virginia with you.
Okay.
So, and I had a huge
Way out there in
crush on
Virginia.
him. And it turned out that he had a huge crush on me. And our parents like helped us date.
Okay.
Like they would take us to the
That's
movies
hilarious.
and then they would like go wander the mall while we watched a movie together. Like,
Okay.
we had
Definitely
one
went.
kiss once.
Definitely went to see what was Nightmare? No, what is the Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely did that with a
With
young
the girl
lady
you had
at
a crush
one
on.
point. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
when it came
Yeah.
out. Yep.
Dating when you're in like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade is
You
so
really have no idea what
innocent and cute.
You really have no idea what you're doing.
You have no clue. No clue whatsoever.
You're not sure what's going on. You're just kind of doing stuff.
I think
But yeah.
actually when I kissed this kid, I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. So a little younger than middle school, but
Awesome. I love it. Yep. That's hilarious. He was
he was another actor who I met through acting coach classes.
That's why I think that part of this movie was so great because I think that's relatable to like everybody, you know?
Oh
I mean,
yeah, that
that's what I liked about
young
it.
love thing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's so.
all right.
And definitely having a crush on an older, like on a grown up.
And it's so cool because I like the fact that, to everybody else, he's just this worthless nothing that people pick on. But to this girl, he's like the hero. Kind of, you know what I mean? In a way?
To Melanie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
oh
of
yeah.
great,
She totally is.
He's gonna save the day. He's gonna, hide her away and come save her when everything's over. So yeah, that was funny. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which normally I would be like, "Ugh, of course they like hide the girl away and she doesn't get to do anything. But
Right,
then you
right.
have B as the contrast, who is
Yeah, a little bit, right?
the
Who's
big
just
bad, which is awesome.
Big bad. The big bad. That's
And
right.
Allison and Sonia, who are
Sure.
also big bads, or
they're
littler
not big.
bads than B, but still big bads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I would have liked.
yeah.
I would have liked more in depth of the satanic cult. It was kind of just this generic, but maybe that was the point. They don't need to be specific about. I don't know. So
Yeah, I think their whole
we're just a satanic cult, and that's it. That's it.
yeah.
You don't
I
need-
think what
you
they
don't
were
need any
trying
more
to do
information.
was that also that like these teenagers, other than B, the teenagers didn't really know what
No, they don't know
exactly what they were
getting.
getting into. They
Sure.
just knew I'm supposed to make a deal with the devil and get what I want.
Yeah. Oh, and you're 17, you don't know what the hell you're doing anyway. So
Exactly. So if they were like 18 or
Let me tell you,
something,
if I had been told that, I probably would have gone and shown up at that house too. So yeah.
I feel like I would have been too scared.
Oh, I would have done it. I was an idiot. So yeah.
I feel like I would have been way too scared. I would have been like the Cole in this movie.
But in the end, he saves the day in the end, right? So. There you
All right,
go.
so who would you be in the movie? We haven't done that in a long time.
Damn.
Would you be John? I got H. Now I got AIDS.
I mean, I loved him. I don't think I would have been him necessarily. I don't know if there was one character that I would have been. That's Ugh.
Yeah, I
Wow,
don't know
I
if
don't
I can
know.
place you in one.
Yeah, I can't relate myself to really any of those dudes. I don't think.
I definitely was enough of a dork that I would have been the Cole.
Okay. Oh, you're the hero though. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been the hero though. I probably would have just been really scared.
Now I love the girl's dad's car, but I don't want to be the dad. I don't want to be him.
No.
No,
But you
he
could
was-
be Cole's dad.
Okay, he seems like he's a nice father.
Cole's dad's pretty cool.
There you go. He seems like he's a nice guy.
He has a good sense of humor. I can see that.
He does. He was a nice guy.
Okay.
Cool with him.
Okay.
He's-
We'll go
seems
with
like a
that.
good dude.
We'll go with that.
A good, wholesome guy.
So let me see. Is there anything else we need to talk about this movie? It's just
I
such
mean-
a simple movie. I'm not sure there's much else to say
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, you know what? I think at some point maybe I'll watch a sequel just because I've seen this. I might as well watch the sequel, right?
Yeah,
For no-
the
for
sequel's
no other
kind of
reason.
fun. It's not quite as good,
Right.
but it's still kind of fun.
Right.
But I definitely would say for me, if you tend to agree with me on my movie reviews, guys, go see this movie. I love it. If you tend to agree with Matt, maybe watch it.
Make your decisions. Do not let us influence what you do. But yes, you know what though? We already gave you advice anyway on how to drive and how to handle kitchen cutlery. So if
That's
nothing else,
true.
we gave you that.
Life pro tips: watch
Yeah,
this movie.
So, you know that's really what we're here for, to make your life
Let's
better.
make your life better. Really, we're here for you guys. We're here for you.
Yeah.
So next up is Dark Skies, another listener request,
Okay.
and
But isn't there something before that?
well, no, not before that. In this, no, that will have already happened.
Oh, all right. I have my dimes and
So
dates.
next
mixed
up is Dark Skies, a listener request, like I said. And don't forget, guys, you can subscribe, follow the podcast, rate and review us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, wherever you're listening. Just don't forget to rate and review so more people can find us. And send us your movie suggestions. We're doing listener suggestions, so send them to us. And send us your thoughts on the movies we've watched so far at thescarymovieproject@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Scary Movie Project. See ya!
With great power comes great responsibility.
True, so true.
The Scary Movie Project podcast is produced by Tara Garwood and Matt Lolich. Learn more at thescarymovieproject.com.